What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new here, hi, my name is Rochelle and I like to make thrifting and fashion videos along with a little bit of beauty and just sharing my life with you guys over here on my little corner of the internet. Number one, today, as you guys can see from the title, we are doing a Q&A. I've realized that I haven't done a Q&A in so long, like probably honestly a few years. So there's probably some of you guys that might be new to my channel and may not know me very well that have questions for me. And so I figured that'd just be a fun, relaxing video to do today. Number two, I just want to let you guys know that I am dog sitting for my in-laws. So we currently have 4 dogs in the house right now. So if you hear noises, they're going in and out, they're coming and saying hi. So I just figured I would give you guys a little, preface that you're probably gonna hear a bunch of noise. I'm gonna try to answer all the questions that I got. I might have gotten some repeats, and I know there's a lot, and I know that I have the gift of gab, so I'm going to try my hardest not to overshare and just kind of like get right to the answer. Lisa asks, so many people don't want children nowadays. Do you plan on having children? I totally understand if you don't want to answer this question. The short answer to this question is yes and no. It kind of depends on the day. For a really long time, I said I didn't want any children. Sometimes I feel like I do, but I'm just not ready quite yet. So yeah, I can't really have a definitive answer to that question. But I would say that Everett does want to have children. Hi, you got me a toy? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna play tug of war right now. Rochelle, I'd love to see your wigs and how you style them. What was your career before YouTube? If you guys don't know, I have a wig collection. I love synthetic wigs and I love wearing different hair just to like invoke different like outfits or moods or like personas. So I have quite a lot of synthetic wigs. It'd be fun to do a try on video one day. I've been meaning to do that for forever and just haven't. So maybe I will soon, Judy. And then also as far as my career before YouTube, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I've had my license for over 10 years now, and I mostly did full body waxing and then like hair and makeup for events like brides, weddings, senior portraits, proms, things like that, any sort of event. And I did own my own business and my own salon. Who are some of your favorite YouTubers? Just off the top of my head, I love Beth from B. Jones Style. I love Karen Britchick. I've been really getting into the perfume community here on YouTube. I also love a lot of beauty YouTubers. And I also watch a lot of like true crime, kind of like podcasty, Kendall Ray type, Bailey Sarian, you know, type of YouTubers. I could honestly do like a top 5 YouTubers in each category video because I have a lot. What's something expensive you would buy if you had unlimited funds? Everett and I would eventually really like to move to a home that has more acreage. Not like a ton of acreage, but I would love to be on like, have like around 10 acres. That would be an ultimate goal. And something that hopefully one day we will be able to afford or just like move. Right now, currently we live in a gated community that has like an HOA. It has a lot of great things about it, but it is, I feel like we're just kind of like, we want space and land type people. We're not really good at like, I don't know. We just eventually would love to have more area. If I had unlimited funds, I would get a 1960s Bronco. I love those cars so much. Not the OJ one, the one that was like before that, the 60s Broncos. Do you like living in a small town? I would say yes and no. It definitely has its ups and downs to each. Ultimately though, I do love where I live and I feel very at home here, and I don't see myself moving anytime soon. If you could live anywhere else, where would you live? Eventually, I want to live in Santa Barbara again. I did live there when I was younger, and I think that like one day when I retire, I would love to live back in Santa Barbara. Do you work other than YouTube? I currently do YouTube full-time. I actually ended up closing my salon and business in the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. So yeah, this is my full-time job and I love it. And then she also mentioned that she would love for me to branch out more frequently on my channel, which girl, me too. Trust me, I have so many other interests other than just thrifting. I love thrifting, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I feel so repetitive when it comes to thrifting and shopping. The sad part of this reality is that I have to put out videos that everyone wants to watch in order for my channel to grow. and none of my videos really get very many views unless they have to do with shopping or thrifting. Just the way that the algorithm works, growth here on YouTube is really dependent on what people want to watch, and literally my audience like only wants to watch thrifting. So that's what I have to continue to do, even though sometimes I'm like, you guys, there's more out there. I love thrifting too, but like I wish that people would just, I honestly truly wish that people would want to see a little bit more diversity on my channel as well. That's just the honest truth. Okay, what has been the most valuable thrifted item, and how long have you been thrifting? As far as valuable thrifted item, the things coming like to the top of my head is that I did recently thrift 2 Max Mara trench coats that were both estimated to retail about $2,600, and I did end up selling both of them on the RealReal for around $600 to $700. I thrifted them for around $40, so it was a really good profit. And yeah, if you ever see a Max Mara coat, pick it up, guys. I've also thrifted like some vintage Gucci jewelry in the past that they didn't realize was Gucci. I have been thrifting since middle school. Yeah, I have actually a really interesting story time, I guess I could say, when it comes to how I started thrifting. So let me know if that's something that you guys might want down below, or like for me to open up about my thrifting journey, or like how I started thrifting. Yeah, that's something I'd be willing to share, maybe just not in this video. Have you had any thrifting fails? Yes, all the time. I feel like sometimes, especially since the pandemic, since we can't try stuff on, I've definitely bought things that just like don't fit me, or I thought would be cuter and I couldn't try them on until I got home, or like I thought I'd wear and I didn't wear. What's one thing that you regret thrifting at the thrift store? I honestly can't think of anything. I think just like when I haven't tried stuff on, or something that's like an impulse buy and expensive and then I don't wear it, which has been a lot of stuff. What type of music do you listen to? I feel like everyone just says, I listen to everything. I don't listen to a lot of country. I would say I listen to a lot of like hip hop, R&B. I also listen to a lot of like lo-fi. I listen to jazz, and I love like 1930s, 40s swing music, especially when I'm like at home cooking for some reason. I go through different stages. In my younger years, I listened to a lot of like emo, Taking Back Sunday type music, classic rock. Where did you meet your husband, and how long have you been married? We have been married for 7 years. We've been in a relationship for 10 years, and Everett and I met in high school. We were in a freshman debate class together, and we were really close friends all through high school, but we didn't date in high school, so we're not high school sweethearts, but we knew each other really, really well because we met when we were 14 or 15 and stayed consistently friends since we met. Ruby asked, what is your birthday and your zodiac sign? My birthday is April 27th, and I am a Taurus. I don't know a ton about astrology. I do find it like interesting in the lighthearted way, not in a super serious way. Like I always like to like know the little astrology things. Do I take it super seriously? No, but I do think it's fun. I'm a Taurus, earth sign. Everett is a Scorpio. I will say though, I find it super annoying when you meet someone and they ask you what your astrology sign is, and as soon as you say your astrology sign, they kind of go, oh, as if like now that they found out your astrology sign, they like don't like you anymore, or like they judge you. They already like know you before you actually know each other. Like I find that so annoying. So if you're into astrology, don't just make assumptions about people the second you find out their astrology sign, because that's rude and kind of ridiculous. Not to say that you would do that, Ruby. I'm just saying, when people do that, I feel like it's a very, I don't know. No, I'm just gonna shut up. Okay. Renee says, you both work at home. How do you coexist? And she let me know how difficult it was to work at home with her husband. I would say that Everett and I are really good at being together quite often. Like we are together a lot, and we do coexist pretty well, or like just we genuinely get along really well together for being together like all the time, with the exception of like any normal, you know, relationship obviously has spats or like disagreements or whatever. It is sometimes difficult to work together at home. Everett does work at home. He has for like forever. So he does have to be like on a lot of phone calls, and he is just like a loud person. And then obviously now that I do YouTube full time, I work at home as well. Since I can have a little bit more of like a flexible schedule, I try to film around him being on his like scheduled phone calls. As far as Everett being at home when I'm filming, he's just kind of like like it is really hard to be quiet when the other person is doing something that they need you to be quiet. I totally get it. So he is usually like around, either like working or like snacking or walking around. I ask him to kind of like be quiet if possible, but like if he's gonna eat lunch and like you guys are gonna hear it, I've just accepted of that as like that's my reality. And you know, if it bothers people on my YouTube, then they don't have to watch my videos. If they can hear Everett eating in the background, it's not gonna, like, if you can't understand that, then maybe we're just not meant to be subscribees, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to work together at home at the same time though. Like, I want to be filming right when he's on a work call. Dina, hi Dina, she asked, why did I stop reselling? So I haven't completely stopped reselling. I still have my Poshmark. I did stop sourcing stuff for my Poshmarks. I stopped doing that not because I don't like it, but because the area in my house that I was using as my storage area and workspace is actually going to be used for something else now. So I actually physically like don't have the space to use that anymore. So I'm just only going to be selling the clothes that I'm decluttering from my own personal closet. So that was all of the questions from YouTube, and then going over to my Instagram. Best place to sell old clothing, I would definitely say Poshmark or Depop, depending on the type of clothing you have. You have like a really specific style and it's kind of like funky and unique, I would say sell on Depop. If you have more of items that are like brand oriented, like very brand-y, I would say sell on Poshmark. I find more success with selling on Poshmark. Kelly asked me, do you still do makeup and hair? I actually don't. I closed my makeup and hair business in March of 2020. My friend Cynthia asked, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Honestly, I don't know as far as living goes, because I haven't traveled enough of the world to like really know what it's like in other places. So I'd love to just like travel all over like Europe. I'd love to go to like Thailand. I'd love to go to Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Yeah, there's a lot of places. Oh my gosh, Greece. There's so many places I feel like I'd love to go, so I feel like I need to do a world tour and then I'll get back to you on which spots I'd live in. Hi Rochelle, other than your Poshmark business, are you working on anywhere else? I am just doing YouTube now. Why did you stop doing keto and how's it going? So I did stop doing keto about 2 months ago. I was on the keto diet for like 3.5 years. Literally absolutely loved it. Like, I couldn't say anything bad about it personally from my experience. I lost 30 pounds and I just felt really good, and so it's definitely something that I would go back to if I felt like I wanted to. I think that Everett and I were getting really bored in our diet, or just like we felt like we needed to switch it up a little bit. So we did start to incorporate more complex carbs. We're still completely sugar-free and we try to keep it pretty low carb. I still buy a lot of the same stuff that I did on keto, like low carb tortillas. Anything that I have the option to do low carb, I do. I still buy a lot of like the cauliflower rice, cauliflower mashed potatoes, things like that. So I do still keep it low carb, but I did add in a lot of like grains, natural grains, quinoas, rices, stuff like that, sweet potatoes. We're eating fruit again. I missed fruit. So far it's going really well. I haven't gained any weight transitioning back. back and I have been feeling really good, with the exception of sometimes I do feel a lot more bloated than I did on keto. Like, I didn't ever feel bloated on keto, and I definitely do feel bloated now that I've added like some grains back in. If you had to pick a decade to dress in for the next year, what decade would you pick? Oh my god, I love that question. I absolutely love 70s fashion, but I think realistically, if I had to dress only in that decade for a year, it'd probably be 90s. A lot of like 90s stuff I think is just really like easy to wear, and I have a lot of it, and I don't have a ton of stuff from the 70s, but I also do love 70s style. Really enjoy finding pieces that are just like super unique and funky, or just like one of a kind, no one else is gonna find, like really statement or like weird pieces in my closet. I actually don't wear enough of them, but I love them. Dream luxury brand purchase. Oh, that's so hard. I'm not like super into luxury. Probably a bag. I don't have like one thing that's like the one thing I would buy from a brand, just because I feel like I'm a more bang for your buck kind of girl. Like, Amy asked, do you have any siblings? I do not. Between my mom and my dad, I am an only child. On my dad's side, he did end up being in another serious relationship for a long time, and so my step siblings, I was the oldest, so I kind of like feel like I have experienced being an older sister and then an only child. And then on my mom's side, my aunt is only 2 years older than me. So my grandma had a baby like later in life when she was 42. And so my aunt on my mom's side is only 2 years older than me. So she's kind of like an older sister to me. So I feel like I've had the situation of being like an only child, the oldest child, and the baby, which is kind of weird. But technically I'm an only child, and Everett's also an only child. Alright you guys, that was everything. This video was so long because I am so rambly. If you got through the whole thing, I'm proud of you, and I want you to put down below, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Your favorite chain restaurant to go out to eat to? I want to know down below. I personally really like Yard House. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I love an ahi crunchy salad. Yum, yum, yum. But I want to know what your guys' is down below. And yeah, I think that's it. I love you guys so much. If you made it till the end, bless your heart. I can talk so much that when I'm editing, I get annoyed listening to myself talk this much. I have to go through and like cut out all of the like tangents. So yeah, bless your heart if you made it to the end. All right, you guys, I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.